everyone. I wanted to walk you through how to complete your Pathfinder inventory assignment. So you can see we are on the instructions slide here. On the next slide is where you're going to fill in your Pathfinder inventory, and then you're going to tell me more about yourself. So we have instructions here. It tells you that you're going to move around some things on the next slide into the inventory slots, and then use that information to let me know more about yourself. When you go down through here, you can see I have a spot for you to click for an example, and I will show you my example here in a second. And then we are also going to talk about your call sign and your logo as well, but we'll get to that in just a second. So let's look at your inventory. Okay, so your inventory is this grid up here with these 36 boxes. And so what we're going to do is we're going to take these little bits of information, and you're going to fill in your inventory to tell me about yourself, based on that piece of information you want me to know. So let's say that I want to tell you what makes me happy, right? So what makes you happy? I'm going to take that, I'm going to click and drag it into our inventory here. And you can see I'm trying to fill up the boxes as best I can. It's no big deal if they're a little off. So that takes up, a couple spots. What makes me happy is going to go there. Let's say that I also wanted to, select, tell me anything about yourself. Okay, so I could throw that in here too. Um, and then, I'm just going to continue to throw things in here. So what kind of sports team do I like? If I had one superpower, what would it be? What do I like to watch? And what's my favorite quote? I'm just selecting random ones, but you can see what I'm doing is I'm just clicking on these boxes, and then I'm just dragging them to the correct boxes on here, right? You just want to try to fill up those boxes as best you can. Now, if you feel like you're running out of room, like in this case, I feel like I'm kind of limited to using these square ones here instead of the rectangles. Please feel free to rotate these shapes around so that you can fit them in better. So let's say the last piece of information I wanted to put in here was someone I admire or look up to in my life. I'm going to take that, and you'll notice it doesn't really fill up the boxes super well here. So if I want to rotate this, I can have the rectangle selected, and I can put my cursor over this little dot up here. You can see it changed. The cursor lost the arrows there. So I'm going to click that, and then I'm going to hold down Shift on my keyboard, and you can see as I do that, it will shift it in like more, even angles. So I can rotate that to 90 degrees, and then I can move that up here, and it will fit in. Okay. Now, you don't have to fill up all of the squares. You can see I left 2 empty squares here. That's totally fine. The way that these are shaped, and just with the math that goes along with that, not everybody is going to perfectly fill up their boxes. So that's totally fine if you don't. You can see my example here. So I took the boxes and I filled in my inventory, and then what I did was, based on what I put in my inventory, I told you that information about myself, right? So what is your favorite food? You can see I started with my favorite food is buffalo wings. Do you have any pets? What are their names and breeds? I have a dog named Pippin, who is a Maltese Yorkie mix. And you can see I continue to go through all that information in here. Okay. Then we get to your call sign at the bottom here. So right here where it says call sign, when astronauts go through training, they receive a call sign from the other astronauts going through their training with them. So that is just, pretty much a nickname that is used throughout the mission, and that's a nickname that I plan on using throughout our mission in digital literacy. So you can see I chose my nickname is Mr. Whitebread. So fun fact, Balka in several Eastern European languages means white bread or bread roll. So that's where I got that from. But if we want to change our call sign, all we just double click where it says call sign. We type here for our nickname, and then we just hit enter, and it will change that for you. Okay. The last thing you need to do is you need to give me a logo that represents you. So you can see here, my logo is just a piece of white bread or a loaf of white bread. It doesn't have to be, the same thing as your call sign. It can be anything. Just make sure that it's something that you feel represented by, and something that you feel comfortable being used with the whole class, because I will use this logo when we talk about like achievements and badges and stuff like that. So that logo will be something very public facing to represent you. The call sign will be as well. So make sure that you're picking a call sign that you feel comfortable with. That's just help me shout people out without necessarily using names all the time. Um, that's all I expect you to do for the Pathfinder inventory now. You can see we have the spot for rover ready badges here. That's a conversation for another time, and I will continue to walk you through how we're going to earn those badges and what you can expect to find on these slides later on. So if you have any questions, please send me an email or make a comment on Google Classroom or come to our office hour sessions, and I will be happy to help you with whatever you need. Thank you.